Nobody knows.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us here from Bowlero, Wauwatosa. We've got practice rolling right now for the Stepladder Finals of the 2024 Junior Hall of Fame Scratch Division. Let's give you a quick rundown of your teams in the Stepladder. Number 4 seed is Team Moss. Chad Moss playing with Landon Jordan and Gianna Brandolino. They'll be battling in this opening 2-game total pin match. Team Ermish. Ermish bowling with Casey Hughes and Charlie Wiedmeyer. Wiedmeyer threw a 300 game in the opening game of the event today. Winner of this opening match will battle Team EJ Tackett. Tackett bowling with Adam Totes and Jack Deisland. And in our championship match, whoever advances there will battle Team DeKerf Jr. with Steve DeKerf Jr. teamed up with Dalton Zeman and Zachary Thauher. So a few more minutes of practice remaining. Once again, this is a 2-game total pin match in this and all stepladder matches. And $1,000 in scholarship money and a brand new 900 global bowling ball on top for our victors today. There are 28 teams in total in the Scratch division of this year's Junior Hall of Fame. 10 teams advanced to cash, and now we do have our top 4 teams here waiting in the wings. Give you a peek at the teams down on the lanes as they practice. There you see Chad Moss. As we mentioned, teamed up with Gianna Brandolino and Landon Jordan. So pace is going to be a little quick for these 2-game total pin matches that they're going to alternate lanes. So one team, if they throw a lot of strikes, they can get a frame or 2 ahead. And we're underway. How about that? Thought we were going to find out when we were underway. Guess get the scoreboards fixed here. Well, sometimes that's the hazard you get. So once again, this is a 2-game total pin match. Winners will advance to take on Team Tackett. There you see Brandolino cover on that single pin. And no extra luck there for Wiedmeyer. Take a look at the starting position here, Landon Jordan. And kicks the 10 nicely. So a little lineup change as Wiedmeyer and Hughes flip-flop. They're allowed to change in the stepladder. The only requirement is that the adult bowler on the team, in this case Chad Maas, has to bowl the first, fourth, 7th, and 10th frames for their team. This pair is considered fresh oil, however, this pair has been sitting since the lanes were oiled this morning at about 8 a.m., so it's definitely going to be a little flatter than what they've seen. I'm sure the players like the fact that they're able to get some fresh, not have to worry about lofting it and such early on. Wait for Brandolino to make her toss here. Looking to get a 3-bagger on the team, and instead 3 pins remain. Wiedmeyer wasting no time getting a turkey on the board for his team, so they've made the bounce back off the second frame open by Casey Hughes. And let's see what Brandolino can do here. Can't get the 2-pin over into the 10 quick enough. And the 6 does the job on the 10 for Hughes. It's up to Landon Jordan to try to keep his team close. The only thing that's going for Jordan right now is they do have 2 games in this match. Bring it back, and that's just flush. And now it's up to our adult players. Here you see Ermish getting set for her team's 7th frame. Five in a row. Right now they're down by 32. If Moss can double here and knock it down to 22, and he does. So as you know, there's a lot of frames to be bowled yet. Just because you're down early doesn't mean you want to just give up, roll over, play dead. Make it a 6-pack for Team Ermish. And Brandolino returns the favor. Wasting no time is Wiedmeyer. Starting strong for Team Ermish. They bounce back off that second frame open by Wiedmeyer. Ermish, first ball attempt, that needs a 65-foot lane, and you see why. As the 4-8 stands on that light hit. So max score now, 245 for Ermish. Guess what Team Moss can get to? That's why you don't give up. Boom. And it's up to the team captains, the adults on these teams now. Good cover by Ermish. And once again, we could have a 245-245 tie. Pure by Moss. And that gets the carry she couldn't find on the first ball of the 10th, 245 for Team Ermish. We're waiting on I think we're waiting on a ball here from Moss. Ball return. All right. And 245 for Team Mass. So the teams will switch lanes after that opening game. And Chad Mass will start things off for his team. I don't think there's any strategy changes or such. So on to Moss here in game two. Tied at 245. DJ Tackett's team waiting in the wings for the winner of this match. Top seed Steve DeKerf and his team only need to win the two-game total pin match to take down the $1,000 in scholarship money and the 900 global bowling balls. And Ermish can't get the 10 to go. Brandolino's going to wait until Ermish converts her spare. Not a bad thing to do. I mean, there's no rule that says you have to alternate shots on the pair. All you have to do is bowl when it's your turn. Cross lane, covers it up nicely, no problem for Ermish. Ermish probably had one of the worst breaks I've ever seen in bowling here in this bowling center back in our Spectrum Sports cable telecast. She hit a pocket shot. She needed to carry it to win a match, and the 3-pin moved on a flush pocket shot from the 3-pin spot into the 10-pin spot. Let's see what Wiedmeyer can do here. That's why you can see why Wiedmeyer put down a perfect game a little earlier today. And, pictures. I heard something. Pictures. All of our pros going over the other side for pictures. And let's see. What? Casey Hughes can do here in the third. Team down by 10 in the match. Temporarily. Oh, yeah. Take that one and run, as that one could have been, and probably should have been, a 2 or an 8, if not both. And Casey Hughes got them both the fall on lane 22. And a little delay here as we've got a ball mark that was put on the bowling ball in back for Landon Jordan, and he's allowed to clean it and remove it, so they're getting that scuff off the bowling ball. There you can see Tony Jordan, Landon's dad, back there doing a little handiwork. And especially you want to get that scuff off, especially if it's in the track area. You don't want any foreign material. I mean, there's a reason why they tell you can't leave rosin on your bowling ball. It used to be a good trick back in the day some guys would use to try to break down the lane. Put some rosin on the ball, throw it in the track. Dave Traver was notorious for doing that. Dave Traver, I think he did it one time at Bowling with the Champs in practice before the event started, and then ended up winning. Should have won a new car. Didn't get the new car because the tournament wasn't sanctioned. That was the insurance. Required sanctioning. I think Dave got a little bit of cash out of that deal back in the day. There's Jordan. Bowling ball spiffy. And let's see if he can keep the strike string going here for Team Maas. Keep them up temporarily by 10 pins. Looks on target line and takes them all down. Ermish looking for 3 in a row for her team. Assistant coach at Carroll University. She's hit numerous PWBA tour stops over the last few seasons. And gets them all to mix. And now it's up to Maas to match that strike to keep his team up by 10. Here in our opening match, 2024 Junior Hall of Fame Tournament. I'm $2 Phil Brillo, bringing you all the action. We started at qualifying at 11 o'clock today, and we will crown a champion in probably about 45 minutes to an hour. Chad stares it down. Chad takes him down, and the lead remains with Team Maas by 10 pins. I want to thank all the big sponsors that help get players here to this tournament, including the great jerseys, as Charlie Wiedmeyer takes down the strike. The great jerseys you see a lot of these youth players wearing today, a little collaboration between I'm Bowling and H5G brands, making us look good here in the broadcast booth once again today. Front 5 for Team Maas. Let's see what Casey Hughes can do here to keep his team close. To stay within 10. Does it nicely. And now it's back over to Landon Jordan. This is what these young players live for, these pressure situations, and be able to do it and have these adult players along for the ride. And the adults are just bowling to help the youth out. They're volunteering their time, they're volunteering their bowling, volunteering their strikes. When they throw strikes. Let's see if Courtney Ermish can keep throwing strikes for her team. 7th frame, needs some help, and can't get the 8 out, and yeah. Maas is going to be making sure this one gets out of the hand pure. It's not very often, in my experience watching Chad Maas, where he's in a match play situation, let the opponent get away with a mistake. Right on target line. Yeah, that's about a 90% certainty that Chad Maas is striking after an opponent mistake in a match play situation. Almost a lucky bounce there for Ermish, but now big deficit for Team Ermish. Brandolino looking to get the front 8 for her team. She had the front 8 game 1 today. There you go. It's not locked up yet. Let's see what Wiedheimer can do. And yeah, now it's going to be a lock, especially with Landon Jordan can step up here in the 9th frame. I think Jordan's just going to let him try to shoot for the spare and know the count. I mean, you can't play defense in bowling. It's not like Jordan's going to be aiming for a certain count. Landon Jordan's going to be trying to strike up there. Well, let's see if we get a bounce. Not happening. So 234 the maximum. Team Ermish. Strike here, and Maas just has to stay behind the foul line in the 10th frame. There you go, front 9. Get on social, everybody. Tell your family, tell your friends. You get a chance to see a Baker 300. Here in the Stepladder finals of the 2024 Junior Hall of Fame. No pressure, Chad. No pressure at all. And that's the thing, is you got to keep the emotions in check, because sure, you could shoot 300 right here. You could have the thrill of shooting the 300. But then you gotta get right back into bearing down and trying to win the tournament. There you go. Front 10 for Team Maas. Let's see what Maas can do here for the excellent 11th for his team. Needs to come back hard. Oh, and it does. Just saws the rack apart. And if carrying that one doesn't relax the arm swing on the 12th shot, I don't know what will. Unfortunately, no bonus of any type for a Stepladder 300. Let's see what Maas can do here. Will we see perfection? Yes, we will. How about that? Team Maas, Baker 300. But the job is not even close to being done yet. As Chad gets a couple of sponsor plugs in there. So Team Tackett's going to get some practice here. And we'll be back with our second Stepladder match, Team Tackett versus Team Moss, after a short intermission.
Yeah, I want to hear that. That 9 count plus 100 out there.
All right, there we see our fourth place finishers, Team Ermish, getting their pictures taken, getting their courtesy 3-ball totes as part of their prize package. And there we see our players with EJ Tackett's team underway. Adam Totes, Jack Deisland, your players with Tackett. Once again, we've yet to see one of our celebrity professionals win this event. Came close last year. AJ Johnson finished in second place with his team. Jason Miller, Trey Heinrichsmeyer, and Winston Petrie took down the title in the scratch division last year. So while we're waiting on practice here, let's take a look at some of the highlights from last night's Celebrity Pro-Am at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. There you see Hank Poznansky, Cassie Hannon, Gina Darashevsky. After the bowling was done, the 8 Baker games of fun with all the 4-player teams that signed up that got to bowl with celebrities and some Baker competition. They had a Battle of the Barneses. There you see Linda Barnes. Linda and Chris drafted respective teams. Nate Purchase on the team with Linda Barnes. There you see the good Barnes and the bad Barnes bowling each other yesterday. You guess who good, who's bad. There you see Purchase helping Team Linda Barnes with some strikes early on in game 1 of that 2-game total pin match. Derek Off taking care of business. Chris Barnes stepped up in the ninth frame of game one, took out that 9-pin, and gave Linda a little bit of the business there once it was done. You see him having a nice little chat. Chris opening the lane up for her, but Linda, consummate, great bowler that she is, took care of that first one. She's like, yeah, what's the problem? Come on, let's hear it for me. And then added the second one in the 10th. E.J. Tackett tried to keep game one close as Linda Barnes tried to help him out the fill ball. And the opening game there, you see 235 to 212. We'll bring you the highlights of game two of that two-game total pin battle of the Barneses after this match is complete. And it looks like, hey, we're underway. Here we go. Taggett opens with a strike. Maas looking to match. And Maas does match. Our first look here in the stepladder at Jack Dyslin. And Dyslin lucky to take that 7 down late. And now we'll take a look at Bran Delino. And joining me in the booth is Chris Barnes. And Chris, Baker 300, trying to bring the momentum back to, back to center your team back up because there's still a lot of work to do. Looks like Chad Maas has managed to do that with his teammates here. Yeah, they've started with a double.
Being back on the fresh seemed to really fit into what they wanted to see. We're bouncing back and forth doing pictures on both sides. And so saw the first game, both teams, okay, but nothing spectacular. And then went there and come back, and everybody's got a 5-bagger. I'm like, how did both teams go to the better lane? I don't know.
And it ended up 300 for Team Maas to the 214 for Team Ermish, and Team Maas moved down with a 545 total. And Landon Jordan now finds a little problem.
Yeah, there does seem to be some hang there to develop, and that's what happened in that last match. Is you had 2 shots back to back, kind of wiggle, in what seemed to be. I thought both of them were pretty good shots, and then they both split. One 2-8-10 and one rolled the 2 for the 8-10, and so obviously whether it's pattern stretched a little bit, feeling a little friction in the front, moving left, and then it's just sucking energy out of the ball and it's not getting up the hill. But
so how different does a lane pattern get? Like, it's been sitting since about 9 o'clock. Actually, even earlier than that. So even a house type pattern, it doesn't play exactly the same as you would have seen first thing this morning.
It's certainly not exact, but I don't know that it's. I would say if I was to make a guess that it would hook 2 to 3 more than what it did on the fresh this morning. Just sitting that long, dust, whatever in the air, starts grabbing onto that oil and adding a little more friction, maybe a little bit of dissipation over 5 hours or 6 hours. That's not scientific in any way whatsoever, but as an estimate, when we go bowling these, like regionals, they do it a lot where they run the pairs and then you go bowling that pair 3 hours later, and it tends to hook more than the other fresh pairs did.
So Brandon Lino looking to keep this game one nice and tight on the scoreboard, looking to put up a double for her team. And does so nicely.
DNA Coyle, I believe. Pretty talented group, these two.
Yeah. And I don't think
Mr. Moss really unlucky to have to bowl with the Wonder Kids.
Yeah. I don't think Totes and Dyslin are too intimidated by Jordan and right now, especially when you have E.J. Tackett on your team. It's a little easy to not worry about the intimidation factor.
Yeah, that's fair. You got a couple of pretty good hammers, and then you have the sledgehammer coming behind you. It's
it's tough to do commentary and actually just strike. Here we go.
Is it hard or is it easier? I'm not sure which one it is.
I guess. It's hard to get any side conversations in because you're just watching everybody go 10 back, except for
not a lot of time for backstory when it's, hey, good shot, and next up. All right.
Yeah. 7th frame here for Maas. Wow, that one looked like it hit and bit.
Yeah. Getting a little traffic, maybe hit up on it just a little bit. I did notice when I played, and I was talking to Lane and Stad, Tony Jordan, and we have history back through the high rollers, and that I felt like hand pressure for the one-handers was super important today. 10%. I mean, very little extra hand pressure made the ball read really early, and versus being nice to it. I got to step out and do some pictures on the other side.
No problem.
I'll be back.
We'll get you back here for the championship match, I'm sure. Thanks, Chris. So here we go. Tight match here. He'll probably come back, and it'll be a couple of 6 in a row on the board again in game 2, the way it's been going. That needs a little help. Oh, and the unforced error by Deisland leaves a bit of an opening now for Team Maas. Maximum score now for Team Tackett, 230. 244 is what Team Maas can get to here. Brandolino gets that one to come back up. Well-rotated ball. Let's see what Totes can do here. Our only port-sider so far on the stepladder. Finding the fresh. Oh, that's a 1/4 inch either way in that pocket with that vicious wrap 7 being a strike. I mean, you play the ring a lot different than you play the weak on those corner pins. Jordan trying to get a little bounce back off his 3rd frame open and does so. Totes can't let this one get away, and he covers it. So 244 possible for Team Maas, 220 maximum for Team Tackett, and Maas will take to the floor first here in the 10th frame. Nice little bit of a crowd still here, watching these young players try to take down the scholarship money with their adult teammates. And 6 kicks to 10 for Maas. Tackett wasting no time. Trying to punch in the 10th as well. He likes that red ball for some reason. I don't know why. We were talking about it a little bit last night, and it was one of my wife's favorite bowling balls as well back in the day, the original Primal. And now it's back. And I think EJ's got a couple titles under his belt with the original version of that bowling ball. I know my wife took home a national 600 club title with that ball. And you saw Maas make the adjustment. We talked about how it sparked early when he left the single pin in the 7th, and he's definitely made the adjustment. Tackett matches. And so looking to be 24 pins or so on the difference between our two teams before they will switch lanes for the second game of this two-game total pin match. Team Steve DeKerf Jr. waiting in the wings. That creeps high, so 2-4-2 for Team Maas. And Tackett, 220, so 20 pins the difference, 22 pins the difference after the opening game. And one would think now for Team Maas, going back to that left lane where they just threw 300, there's going to be a little confidence factor there.
Yeah, the one thing that you're not sure about is how much it's broken down between extra shots, and then it's just one game, but there's plenty of rev right now on this pair. Yeah. So you're going to cheat one, and this is when you'll find out really how the communication goes.
Is it tough in this event to try to communicate with the young players and keep them all moving and stuff when you're seeing them for the first time when you bowl with them in practice?
I mean, I suppose it depends on how you're wired. Okay. In general, I try and open up communication early on. You see who's receptive, who's not, and you can you can just say, hey, this is kind of what I see. I think it's one off this lane or it's one off that lane, and they can try it themselves or not. And through that qualifying, they'll build up some trust on, okay, that move made some sense for me, or
yeah,
hey, the old guy's crazy. I'm going to do my own thing, whatever. But all 4 of these players are super highly competent and proficient, and so the little feedback of, hey, last time we were here, I moved one off our 300 game, and they go, all right, they're probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Dyslin looking to match the double and does so. They're down 22 after the opening.
The one thing about being back on the fresh, and he's a little bit steep, which is one of the things I'm sure he'll work out as time goes on, but that fresh helps him for sure get through that front. And then once it doesn't get offline early, that's an awful lot of power for pins to try and hold off.
Powerful 2-hander here with Tetz. And
pretty thumpy there. I haven't got a chance to watch. I was back and forth in that first match, so they were sort of close to me, but it was 4 or 5 lanes away, so I didn't get to really pay attention with my own team.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to go watch him a lot. Love his game. I don't know if he hits the holes all the time or if that was a one-off.
Front 4.
Well, they're back at it again. That's wild.
16 in a row on that lane.
Anna Baker is... that doesn't happen much.
No.
Oh. Oof. Got that one right in the ear.
I remember with the League 300s that were thrown at Bayside, and watching those teams go into a second game of a match sometimes, and nothing. Air. I think that was Normie Duke in Dallas. I think they had air for a couple of frames after they threw a 300. The Strikers.
Oh. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Something will go right for him one day. I'm telling you.
At least his son Tripp's got Natalie's good looks. So
there you go.
Looking for the front 5, Gianna Brandolino.
Oh, she didn't love it. They sure ended up in a good spot.
How can you not love it? There's no remnants anywhere on the deck. There's zero witnesses to what happened.
If it wasn't for body reaction, I would assume that she threw it great and EJ threw it terrible. I think EJ loved his and he got surprised. You could see that pick up a little bit too. They might be due for a little move here.
Yep.
Front breaking down.
Jordan looking to make it 18 in a row for his team on this left lane. They ended match 1 with 300. We'll see if it happens again. Oh my!
Yuck.
That was a little odd.
Yeah, the super high flush 10-pin. Before the internet monsters jump out, yes, it was a 1/4 of an inch high of flush.
Yeah.
But that's still really, that's almost like a kickback thing when the 6-pin goes there and gets in front of the 10 like that. Have not shot a spare in a minute. And that was the worry when you haven't for a while.
Well, the good news for Team Haas is that they're still ahead and they get the favor returned.
All right.
So Team Haas is up by 22 after the first game. And they're up right now by another 21, so make it 43 with 4 frames to go.
Yeah, that was... We weren't on the good side of things, but missing that spare strike there would have been huge because then you could have really closed the gap.
Right.
Now they're in the driver's seat. They really, oh boy.
There's a wrinkling in the force in Florida right now. One Randy Peterson just got a chill up his spine, knowing that happened in a championship match. And could this be the break that Team TAC could take advantage of?
The thing is, with 43,
yeah,
they stay clean and sprinkle a strike with a good counter on it. There's not enough room.
Dead nuts on the spare. So 246 the max here. And as you mentioned, they just bake her out. It's 220. They just Dutch out, I should say.
Yeah,
for Team Mass.
Oh, boy. Well, we're not done yet. So
those always seem to be the ones that.
If 2 out of these last 3, no kidding. Those are the ones that can get you in trouble. And now if something crazy happens, now all of a sudden that gets real important.
8th frame for Brandolino. Right back in the pocket.
Yeah, she loved that one. So 7-9 on top of that would have been the holy cow. He went Brooklyn 9. She 7. Yeah. But.
And that had some hang for totes. And
yeah,
that's match over.
That is. I was just going to say they needed a spare, but as long as they went 9 spare down the stretch, they had enough still. And they needed 3 straight misses, basically.
So Jordan Foundation frame to wrap it up. They're going to go to the championship match.
Boy, you're not looking forward to seeing them.
No.
Right now, it's they have bowled 2 great games in the left lane. It appears that they figured out a little bit of something on the right lane there that last time around.
All right, let's play team captain. You're coming in championship match. You've seen what Team Mass has done. Where do you make them start on the left lane, or do you wait a game?
I'm normally a big fan of trying to get out in front, and I think although I don't love them getting to finish on that pair again, I don't love letting them get right back on that same pair one more time either, and hopefully you can get out to a lead, and then they have to, and maybe they struggle on this right lane a little, but that's probably what I would play. I play to my own strengths more so than what they're doing, but if they keep shooting 500, it's not going to really matter a lot. Okay, I'm going to go sneak down and get some pictures in, and we'll see you in whatever, 15 or 20.
It sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Always appreciate you stopping by the booth. Chris Barnes, PBA Hall of Famer, USBC Hall of Famer, Life Hall of Famer.
Well, I married up anyway, so.
Yeah. I think we all have in our day, yes.
Happy to be here at this great event. Thanks for the Levinskis for all they do.
Thanks, Chris. All right, so Team DeKerf will get some practice in. Oh, to be a fly on that wall, fly on that ball return right now with that conversation between Maas and Tackett. Thanks, EJ, for coming in. Thanks to all of our celebrities with the Barneses, Nate Purchase, and EJ Tackett for all the great chats they have with the youth players, the adults, the parents. Always good to have. So we've got some practice here for Team DeKerf. They'll come out. We've got some pictures, and we'll get underway with our championship match. Here from Bowlero, Wauwatosa, the 2024 Junior Hall of Fame Scratch Stepladder Finals. We'll roll on. 2 more games till we know who our champions are going to be for this year.
Choose one.
And while we were at Classic Lanes Greenfield last night, we already showed you game 1 of the Battle of the Barneses after that celebrity event was wrapped up. Lindenbard's team was ahead after game 1, but Stefan Hanen decides, hey, I'm going to trip stuff like this. I'm going to try to get team Chris Barnes back in. Ryan Wallenkamp Jr. follows up with a flush strike as well. And then E.J. Tackett in the 5th frame. Can't get the 9 to go. That leaves a little bit of an opening again for Team Linda Barnes. Nate Purchase steps that one out after being flush. Gina Dereshevsky follows up after that with a strike of her own. House bowler, house bowler. And then Derek Oaf. How about this? The pocket 6-pin. That's one you don't see very often. Slowed down Team Linda Barnes for just a minute, but then the open frame from Ron Wallenkamp Jr. in the 8th frame left it wide open for Linda Barnes. Linda stepped up, first ball, the 10th. Left the 4 that left a little opening for Team Chris Barnes. Barnes in the foundation frame. Flush strike, and it was up to E.J. Tackett. Tackett had to get 2 strikes in the 10th. E.J. got the first one, but on his second chance in the 10th, E.J. stepped up. And would victory be Team Chris Barnes? No, it would not. 4-pin high. And Team Linda Barnes takes down that special roll-off after last night's Celebrity Pro-Am event at Classic Lanes in Greenfield. That was a fun time. Was down there hanging out. Got some video for everybody. If you ever get a chance to just show up, even if you can't get a team in, because that sells out real quick. If you can't get yourself a team into that Celebrity Pro-Am, go down, hang out, get pictures. It's a great time to approach the celebrities that are here for the weekend. And only a couple shadow balls left here, and we'll be underway with our championship match. So just one practice shot remaining for Steve DeKerf Jr. DeKerf Jr. had a nice run opening game today. 297 went high in his last shot, and that momentum helped carry his team all the way through. They were our leaders after our qualifying round, leaders by just a couple of pins after the semifinal round. And it was enough to hold on to the 1 seed. And we are going to be underway. Lane choices made, and it looks like DeKerf Jr., they're going to start on the right lane. So they're going to let Team Moss get out of the gates. On the left lane, the lane that they have thrown 300 and 253 on for the first 2 games. I don't know about that. Like Chris Barnes said a little earlier, I want to be on that team that's, getting out in the lead, let the other team play catch up. We'll see if this strategy works out. As Moss bowling with Gianna Brandolino, Landon Jordan. Steve DeKerf Jr. bowling with Dalton Zeman and Zachary Thauher. And half for Moss. Let's see what DeKerf Jr. can do here. As they open their portion of this championship match. Once again, 2-game total pins. Monkey see, monkey do. Is that how that works when we were kids? Well, DeKerf did get 1 more pin. Let's see if we can get a couple of quality split conversions here. Too much of the 3-pin for Moss. And DeKerf staring it down, and that's an interesting way to get 8 out of a frame. Make the 6-7. So Brandolino bowling in the 2 spot, Jordan bowling in the 3, so no lineup changes there. We see Dalton Zeman, he'll be the 2 spot for Team DeKerf Jr. Zach Thauher will be the 3 spot bowler. There's the strike there by Zeman. And the $60,000 girl, you've heard the $6 million woman. That's That's a $60,000 girl for Jana Brandolino after she took that down on the PBA LBC National Championships. Ooh, and an uncharacteristic open frame. Forced error. You see Jordan and Brandolino talking about maybe the angles were closed a little bit too far in the upper body. Oh, 2-8-10. That's going to return the favor. Looking at a possible open in the third. Jordan looking to make him feel the squeeze right away, and he does. No witnesses to that bowling ball crime. Smart thing here, take two, move on. You're even in the match. Don't want to lose count. And just gets the 8 out. So basically a 1-pin match that can turn into an 11-pin match here if Maas can strike in his fourth frame. 4 goes, 9 stays. And this game looking to stay even. If Curve Jr. can also spare here. Fourth, and that's an overreaction to the first frame split. You heard him on the way back just go, oh my God. So Maas get the cover. And DeKerf with his work cut out for him on a cover. Super washout. He'll try to fit that ball between the 1 and the 6. Nah, needs some help. And oh, that's vicious on the count. The only good thing on that count was at least he was on an open frame. So beverage frame halfway through game 1. 2-game total pins for these teams here in our championship match. $1,000 and 900 global bowling balls on the line for our winners. Zeman, 4 stands. And I don't want to say it's a shot of the day to this point here for Landon Jordan, but this can put a big exclamation point on the score sheet. Get your double while your opponents have yet to put one on the board. Zeman covers. Up by 14, looking to move it to 24. And the 5-pin goes to the sideboard behind the 7. Head pin bounces back in front of it. And now Zach Thauher looking to change the momentum for his team. And he does. Nicely done in the 6th frame. And Jordan, there you see that PBA Junior Ambassador on his sleeve. Great representative of the youth part of this sport. And we are entering the 7th frame. And I think Steve DeKerf Jr. consulted a map after his last shot because he needs to find what direction he's going. There it is. That direction is in the pocket. And that lead now down to just 4 pins for Team Maas, and the success they've had on this left lane previously has disappeared. Maas matches the 7th frame strike. See what Dalton Zeman can do here. Big, tall frame really rips on it on the bottom. A lot of loft. Just making sure that front part of the lane doesn't come into play for him. And that's 3 in a row for Team DeKerf. And a maximum score of 213. 217 the maximum score for Team Maas. Now Brandolino just a spectator for the rest of this game. You see 2 hands, no thumb for Thauher. That needs to hold. Oh, I didn't think it was going to be the problem with the wrap 10. I thought it was going to be a little lighter. Be more of a 210 situation, but that one made it all the way back up the hill. For the 3-bagger, Jordan makes it happen. And a great setup in the foundation frame for Team Maas. Hey, you're not Chris Barnes.
No, much better looking.
I was going to say you're a little younger.
Well, there's that too.
I know about better looking.
I've been that size since I was 13.
Well, that's fun. My center of gravity just stays lower.
EJ, you guys ran into a buzzsaw with these guys on the left lane. If they could have just thrown, 217 the game against you,
Yeah.
you guys would be in the championship match.
Yeah, maybe. We missed a couple spares there, but, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Right. First time here. What do you think?
It was fun. It was a good event. It's great. It's always good to see a bunch of kids bowling. It just shows what the future of the sport looks like, and we're looking at 2 right now.
Yeah.
In Landon and Gianna.
Yeah, that is no doubt about it. And I remember Dalton. First time I saw Dalton, AJ Johnson was in juniors still.
Yeah.
And we had a celebrity, and he was bowling a youth tournament that Dalton was in at 4 years old, and Dalton was making 310 spares with backup balls. I mean, the kid was so smart back then, and now he's 16, I think. I think he's 16, maybe 17 tops, and kid just wrenches on it on the bottom.
Yeah.
But once again, when you have the taller frame and you can make stuff like that happen. So what's the game plan for you the rest of 2024?
Still staying pretty busy. We have the bowling center at home and stay busy with that. Next week we do a Friendsgiving at our house. Invite a bunch of people over, so we got that next weekend. And following weekend, myself, Natalie, her brother, and her dad are all going to go to the Colts-Lions game.
Oh, cool.
I bought us tickets, so because Natalie and all of her family are big Lions fans, and they're finally playing good and have a really good team. So I don't think Natalie had ever seen them play like in person.
Yeah.
So
and that's in Indy or Detroit?
It's in Indy.
Indy, okay.
In Indy. So and her dad said that he hadn't been to a Lions game since like 1980.
Oh, when they're playing at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
that's pretty cool.
It was like right before he went in the military. He was in the Air Force, so it was like right before he shipped out was the last time he went to a Lions game. So
I keep forgetting that Natalie was born in Germany because her dad
she was. Yeah.
That's
right.
Right.
And her dad's from Detroit, so which is why they're all Lions fans.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. I expect the Lions to win that game because they are a much better team than the Colts.
Yeah,
but
they are the pick to win the NFC this year, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So
and it's good to see a team that was on the brink of winless seasons to they are a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
They could. I honestly, I don't know how they didn't get in the Super Bowl last year. They just kind of threw that game away, and I don't know if they could beat the Chiefs last year, but they definitely should have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you got away with one. Walk away. Don't. Yeah, it's the curve
Yeah.
right there. Wasn't. So did you see the $60,000 winning ball in person when Janet threw it?
I didn't. I was in the building. I
You were
was
in the
watching it on the live feed
Yeah.
TV. I was on the low side over there, and or the old side.
The old side.
I was on the old side.
Bay side.
So, I think I was getting ready to do the. Did they do Strike Derby after that, or we did something after that?
There was something. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I
oh,
can't
there was a
remember.
show. You had your first show.
Oh, was
taped
it the
in
first
afternoon,
show?
And you
Okay.
had the Motown Muscle. Yeah, you had
Yeah.
the first show.
So we were getting ready for our show. So I wasn't physically standing over there,
Yeah.
but I was watching it.
Yeah.
And Prather went first and got 7. I said, uh-oh,
Yeah.
Gianna's going to win because she's not going to get less than 9.
Right.
And then she did exactly that and did exactly what she needed to do to win. It was crazy.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
And she's gone left and left on her last 2 7-pin spares.
So what was the scores the first game here? 217, 179. So 38 pins.
Yep.
Anything can happen in these matches.
I'm surprised more bowlers didn't grow up to be accountants when they were done with their career because you guys are just so on the fire with the numbers. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, well, bowling math becomes
Yeah.
easy when you do it every day. Then real world math becomes hard.
So Natalie balances the checkbook?
No,
Okay.
I do that.
Jordan.
I like to know where my money is.
Let's watch Zena that. Whoa, that almost looked like it really came off the thumb quick.
Yeah,
And
a little up hit there.
I think Team DeKerf is going, okay, that left lane's been really good. Let's bowl on that game 2, and not a successful start to this point.
Still early in the game, though. I mean, you can cover this and put a few strikes together here and apply a little bit of pressure. It seems like Gianna's struggling a little bit making spares. Landon missed one against us.
Yeah.
So, anything can happen in these matches.
Sometimes the mental fatigue doesn't grab. Oh,
Yeah.
stuff 7.
And then stuff like that can happen too, even on good shots.
Yeah. Yeah, mental fatigue might not grab you on that first shot, but it can grab you on that spare shot real easy after a long day.
Absolutely. You get so caught up and, man, I threw that so, like what he just did there.
Yeah.
I threw it so good. How did it not strike? You get caught up in that, and then you just lose focus for that half a second, and then next thing you know, you got an open frame.
The curve looking to keep it close.
That's not good.
2-8-10, and one in a couple hundred chance of making that 2-8-10.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, the curve. I mean, came out of the gates today 297, held his team there all day long, especially during the Bakers. Snuck you guys out for the top seed still. After
Yeah,
the Bakers.
I don't know how many pins it was. I think it was probably around 30.
It was less than a mark.
Was it really?
I think it was less than a mark.
Wow.
If I'm- Unofficially, I'd have to get the
Yeah, I
official
didn't-
math.
Yeah. I was just looking at what they had and what we had, and
Yeah.
thought it was close. I didn't think it was that close. I thought it was going to be 20 or 30 pins, but
I think Brett Spangler's going to switch over to repping on the women's tour once Gianna gets out there. It's going to make his job real easy.
I don't know. I don't know
Brett.
if he will or not, but maybe. She's incredibly talented.
And I don't play favorites on tour. I like everybody on tour and have a great day. Such a great story for Nathan Bohr.
Yeah.
I mean, all the work he does on the ladies tour, repping out there when he's not on the PBA tour all season, and to fight back after just missing out on the top 43, and to play the lanes where nobody else is even close
Yeah.
to playing all day on that last day of tour. If you get a chance to go back and watch the last 2 games of the PBA tour trials back in August, whether it's on Bowl TV or they start putting some stuff out there, there may be some stuff out there from the PBA as we get closer to the season. Just what Nathan did was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that kind of stuff is, being able to do those kinds of things are what gets you to the tour like that.
Right.
Doing something that no one else can do, but also executing while doing it.
Yeah. And hopefully that's momentum where Nathan gets national title #1 under his belt, because he's got enough regional titles in the Southwest. He's in the Southwest Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows how to win.
Yeah.
He's made some shows before.
Yep.
And Nathan's one of those players. Typically, if he can get his ball through the pins, that's about the only thing that will keep him from winning.
Right.
Because he hits the pocket as much or more than anyone else. It's just a matter of getting the ball through the pins and getting him to fall down a little bit.
So the lead's still out there for Team Maas. 38 after game 1 and throw another 25 on it at the moment. So I don't want to say it's mandatory strike mode for Team DeKirk, but it's pretty close.
They got to strike.
Yeah.
There's no choice at this point. It's one. I mean, they're going to need a lot of help.
Yeah.
And I just don't foresee that happening from this other team.
Hey, by the way, you got to have a talk with Nate Purchase again. I saw he was doing the back and forth during the Baker games today. Just so you know. Oh, and there's a little unusual with the 2-7.
Yeah.
A little late pickup.
Yeah, at least it's on that side of the lane. It makes the spare a little bit easier. You can hook at it, get the ball to go across a little bit. So we'll see if he's able to make this here. But I would think that he would. But we shall see.
Hey, this will get you $10 cash on the Brew City Bowling Show Saturday mornings on My 24 Milwaukee.
Yep.
Quick plug. There you go. And a huge cover at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're coming down to, they need a lot of help. I mean, they almost have to open out to have a chance. And that's going to do it.
Yeah. Climbing the ladder is never easy. You know this year from the World Championship.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's only the second time in my career I've ran the ladder from the bottom to win an event. The first time I did it was in Japan.
Yeah.
7 years ago?
Japan, yeah.
Yeah.
We were in Osaka, yes, indeed. Took down Shota in that championship match.
I did, and Shota bowled so good that week.
Yeah.
I know it was 32 games around robin.
Yeah. And
the first 3 games I struggled a bit. I think I might have won one of the matches. I think I bowled about 640 or 50 or whatever, plus the 30 bonus. So I had about 70, 80 over. Shota was beating me by 300 pins, almost, in 3 games. He won every match and bowled like 830.
280, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
I'm
nuts.
like, what? I'm losing by 250 already? It's only game 4.
Yeah,
and that was a weird tournament for me. I bowled 3 300s, and I had 3 or 4 279s. But if I didn't bowl 300 or 279, it felt like I was bowling like 207. It was either I had a 9-bagger or I couldn't get a double.
Well, there we go with our champions. Team Maas climbs the ladder, takes care of business, and tell you what, yeah, Team DeKirk, don't hold your head down at all.
Yeah, this is a really, really good team.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they've bowled, I know they struggled a little bit in this match. I mean, they're still going to bowl 430.
Right.
So it's not like they didn't bowl as good as they did the first 2 matches. I mean, they had what 540 and 500 the first 2. They had like 1050.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, just insane.
And doing that, I bring 3 tour guys out here. I don't know if they would beat them.
There you see Cassie Hannon, part of the H5G brand team. Back with Dave Barrows, Beth Blank. I wonder I haven't heard any screaming yet. No side pods like the regional you won at Foxview a few weeks back. So
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was.
They were trying to get me to focus on the last ball. They had a bet for a 0, I guess. Yeah. And I threw the plastic ball down the middle. Luckily for them, I struck.
Yeah. There we go. We were just talking about Cassie on air, just so you know, and Dave and Beth. We were waiting to see if Beth, was pumped up again. Last time we had her on camera, she was pretty into it.
Yeah, Cassie and Stefan do a lot for bowling for this area.
Yeah.
They give back a ton.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad to be a part of the H5G team. and
I'm sure it'll be for many years to come.
Yeah. I actually signed a multi-year contract going into this season. I think it was if I remember right, I think it was a 5-year contract that I signed with them. So I'll be around for a while.
When's a lifetime with Motive?
I mean, I pretty much.
Yeah.
I would assume I'm pretty much going to have that.
Yeah.
But the last contract I signed was 10 years, and that was in 2020. So.
When's it? Are you gonna have another ball coming out soon with the EJ branding on it? EJX branding.
Part of my contract is every time I win Player of the Year, I get another ball.
Okay.
So hopefully, in the next month or so, when voting comes out, hopefully, I did good enough this year that everyone feels that I'm worthy of winning Player of the Year, and if I can be holding that trophy when we have Hall of Fame dinner, then there'll be another EJ ball coming.
As a media member who gets a vote, you have my vote.
Well,
I guarantee
I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Phil.
EJ, thanks. I know you got pictures to take here. We got winners to present, and everybody, thanks for watching tonight. And we'll be back with the 2025 Junior Hall of Fame next year. I'm sure we'll be back here at Bowlero Wauwatosa. Everybody, enjoy your evening. Parents, take the kids bowling because they're going to have fun for life. We saw a lot of fun out here today in the lanes, no doubt about it. Thanks, EJ.
Thank you, Phil.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
One bag's in there, and I'm like, whose bag's that? And
You'll have one?
yeah, my big one. I knew I brought them.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I know.
Start the tail, what happened?
I knew I brought them, but then I didn't see them, and now I was like,
I don't have KO though. The ones that you see through. The banana.
I'm looking for these balls.
Pink. You just switched balls. You told me it wasn't here. Did you?
I know. Look at that. Number one.
Hey, you gonna have one too? You have one? All right. Anywhere but here.